Dobry den. Welcome to Ellie's Shack Kitchen. Today I will be teaching you all how to make halushki, spelled and pronounced in many different ways, but each translating back to potato dumplings smothered in a sauerkraut and bacon mixture and topped with delicious grated cheese. We will be creating this dish implementing the same recipe that has been in my family for many generations over more than a century, which traveled to America through my great-grandmother Irma Mikula many, many years ago, and has since continued to pass on to my mother, who then, through a few very frustrating hours in the kitchen, has managed to bestow it upon the one and only me. Of course, we do not have the time nor mental patience among us to fully prepare this dish, so I will instead use visual representations of the process, slightly for sake of convenience and slightly due to the fact that I do not trust myself alone with hot grease or fire, nor do I think that this would be appreciated by the administration. But without further ado, let's begin. So you will need salt, pepper, garlic salt, garlic powder, caraway seed, 1 pound of bacon, and 1 pound of cheese, a large can of sauerkraut, 8 potatoes, times 8, yep, 2 eggs, 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and a butter greased bowl. As for cookware, you will need a large cast iron skillet, a large cooking pot, a large mixing bowl, a mixing spoon, a serrated ladle, a fork, a knife, and a spoon. So firstly, you will take 1 gallon of water and put it into the cooking pot on high heat to boil. You will then heat your large cast iron skillet on medium heat. Now that the stage is set, we will begin the actual food preparation. Firstly, you need to take your 1 pound of bacon and cut it into halves, and then cook it in the cast iron skillet. Once this is fried, place it on paper towels to drain and then crumble it. Dump half of the grease from the cast iron skillet into the now boiling water, leaving the other half on lower heat. Take your large can of sauerkraut, holding the lid into the can itself, and pour the drainage into the boiling water. Now dump the rest of your sauerkraut into the cast iron skillet. Season this with caraway seed, garlic salt, garlic powder, pepper and salt, and cover it with a splatter screen. So we now move on to the most fundamental part of our dish, the potato dumplings. Peel 8 large potatoes and grate them into a mixing bowl. Then add 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 eggs, and all of your seasonings aforementioned. Mix this with a wooden mixing spoon, and then return to your sauerkraut mixture to add the bacon crumbles which you made previously, and stir well and cover once again. Now if this looks like dirty lint, you're doing it right. You take small teaspoonfuls and drop them into the boiling water which has been seasoned with bacon grease, sauerkraut, etc. Okay, our lengthy process is nearly through. We are down to the final steps. Stir the sauerkraut and bacon mixture once again, and you need to remember to manage every element of the project so that none of it gets burned and your mom does not get mad at you. After about 2 minutes, the dumplings should be floating at the top of the water, at which point you can remove them with a serrated ladle and place them into a butter grease bowl. The sauerkraut should be done around the same time, at which point you can take 1/3 of the dumplings and all of the sauerkraut mixture and combine them. I'm not quite sure why the recipe works out with only 1/3 of the dumplings getting used, but it is pretty old, so perhaps convenience was not in their best efforts, whatever. So store the rest of the dumplings, cover them in cheese, or make more sauerkraut to cover them in. Doesn't really matter. Cover these in cheese and serve them. Within these past few minutes, I've taught you all how to make a sauerkraut and bacon mixture, as well as how to season and serve the dish properly for a wonderful taste of Czech culture. We begin with an overview of the ingredients and cookware required. This, followed up by instructions on how to upcycle bacon grease and plain old sauerkraut to conjure up a great burst of flavor in which to smother our potato dumplings. We mix up flour, potato, and seasonings, and drop small spoonfuls into boiling water. Lastly, the dish was served, seasoned, and topped with delicious cheddar cheese. The preparation of halushki can be an ambitious task, but personally, the taste of a hearty dumpling smothered in cheese appeals to my taste buds, as well as my sense of the family it derived from, with a tinge of nostalgia from eating the dish as a kid. For you, I hope that this tutorial has provided insight into a classic chef favorite, or at the very least, a chance to catch a nap. Thank you all for joining me in Ellie's Chef Kitchen, and Nashli Dano to you all.